want to say thank you for making Chris Hogan's Everyday Millionaires book an absolute blowout success. People wanting to learn about what everyday millionaires look like. The book is the result of a study that Chris and our Ramsey research team did, doing the largest study of American millionaires that's ever been done. And we discovered where millionaires really come from. We know a lot about them. There's 140 statistics in the book. It is not a research paper. If you're a super nerd and you're looking for a white paper on the research project, that's not what this is. But it does have 140 stats in it. Things like 79% of millionaires inherited zero. 5% inherited less than 100,000. Another 5% less than 200,000. Which mathematically means that around 90% of America's millionaires, 9 out of 10, did not receive enough inheritance to become a millionaire. They did it on their own. Only 1% actually inherited $1 million or more. There's 12 million millionaires in North America. If you want to be a millionaire, you need to learn what millionaires do and do what they do. If you want to be skinny, learn what skinny people do and do what they do. If you want to grow hair on top of your head, don't do what I did. It didn't work well. So you have to look at things that are winning. If you've been divorced 14 times, I'll pray for your next marriage, but I'm not reading your book on marriage. You're a marriage loser. You've been married 67 years, I want to sit down and talk to you. How'd you stay married to her? She didn't kill you that long. Because there's times I think I'm going to wake up dead married to this hillbilly woman. I'm just saying. So, that's the deal, folks. I mean, it's called best practices in business. Find a business that's winning in marketing and study their marketing. Find a business that's winning in their product development. Study their product development processes. It's best practices. Find out what rich people are doing and do rich people stuff. Now, some people are so stupid. I tweeted that the other day. Do rich people stuff, you get to be rich people. You do poor people stuff, you get to be poor people. If you're poor people and you do rich people stuff long enough, you get to be rich people. If you're rich people and you do poor people stuff long enough, you're poor people. But some people are so stupid that you think rich people stuff is going and buying things you can't afford. It doesn't mean that at all. That's dumb. Rich people don't do that. They buy stuff they can afford, meaning they pay cash for it. They avoid debt. 74% of the millionaires we talk to have never carried a dime of credit card debt. Wow. Does that mean you can't be a millionaire if you got credit card debt? No, it just means you're not likely to ever become one if you continue to carry it. Think about that. They don't borrow money for anything, for that matter. Very, very, very debt averse. The average millionaire that we studied was 49 years old. And do you have to be 49 to be a millionaire? No, we talked to a whole lot of them in their 20s, 30s. But we studied over 10,000 of them. I'm intrigued with these statistics because we're writing a white paper, doing the actual research paper on it that we're going to publish just for the fun of it, because there's a bunch of you that are super nerds like me, and I just finished reading it. It's going to be about 50 pages long, and it is boring as crud. I mean, I just about fell asleep in my chair this morning finishing it. It is boring. But it's all the detail, the fine detail of the statistical analysis of the research that we did. And some of you are going to want to read that. That's fun. But Everyday Millionaires, for regular people, this is the right book to read because it's got the inspiration in it. It's got the stories in it. And it's got the statistical evidence of the largest study of millionaires ever done. And it's a #1 bestseller. No kidding. Of course it is. Everyday Millionaires by Chris Hogan. Now, I'm telling you all that because if you will do rich people stuff, you get to be rich people. What is rich people stuff? I just told you. They don't sit around and wait on an inheritance because one's not coming. Oh, they didn't go to prestige schools. No, hardly any of them. 8% went to a name school. Most of them did get an education, though. A lot of them did graduate work. But not in left-handed puppetry or gender studies or getting a PhD in German polka history. They got a degree in something that was actually usable in the marketplace. Oh, by the way, they're continual learners. 97% of the millionaires said that they control their own destiny more than circumstances do. Not to say circumstances didn't impact them. That's not what I said. But 97% said they control their own destiny. By the way, when we studied the general public, you know what they said? 62% thought they control their own destiny. But 97%, that's all of them, of the millionaires, think that by and large you control your own destiny. It's very offensive to left-wing nut jobs to say that. You lefties, it's very offensive to you to say that you control your own destiny. Because you want a universal minimum wage, you want socialism, you want to feel the burn, you want someone else to do your life for you instead of controlling your own destiny, instead of being responsible for your own destiny. Now, the right-wing nut jobs have other problems, but the left-wing nut jobs have their set of problems. And boy, have we gotten some hate over this book. Ooh, even that one little tweet I put out this morning, a lot of hate. People get political in a heartbeat. This has nothing to do with politics. But your politics are usually formed by your worldview or vice versa. Sometimes your worldview is formed by your politics, which makes you completely shallow. But, do some critical thought and just say, okay, the reality is, regardless of your belief system, regardless of what you were told or what your party told you, or what the talking points on your particular favorite channel are, aside from that, think for yourself and say, well, the largest research study, and it's double-blind, it's set up, every research technique was employed. This thing is airtight. The research technique is not in question. It was not a shill of a study. It's set up very carefully because we knew we were going to be criticized. I mean, we bolted this thing down tight. There is no leaks in it. If you want to argue with the results of the study, you're what's known as wrong. 97% of millionaires think it's up to them. Deliver yourself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter. Deliver yourself